Meta announced that they are going to start selling their AI capacity, similar to what SpaceX did, which I have to give Hamid his flowers. He completely called that one and was spot on. But the market is reacting in this way, I believe, because they're concerned if this hyperscaler doesn't necessarily need all this capacity, then who's going to utilize it? Who's going to be the buyer? So it's the market just kind of being a little squeamish, in my opinion.
So remember that, yeah, I mean, that's exactly correct. And remember, the market is bipolar in the short term and overreacts to every bit of news because people don't have visibility into something. They go with projections of, oh, this must mean this, or X must mean Y, and therefore they're going to make a decision as if Y is a fact. And the reality is that that's a complete guess. And sometimes these guesses sort of like catch on as if like it's a statement of fact, much like, for example, the Google algorithm for 6 times more efficiency basically meant to a lot of people that, oh, this must mean there's going to be 1/6 the memory demand that there would have been otherwise by AI users. And as a result of that sort of speculation catching hold, the market sort of punished Micron in the short term. So these things happen. The market in the short term is very bipolar and is speculative. But in the long term, what's going to matter is the reality of the situation. If Micron continues to have its revenues and profits, then these things will automatically fix themselves, right? And then tomorrow somebody else will have another speculation as to what's going on, and then we'll see a different result. So this is just the sort of like market going up and down. I don't try to explain any of that stuff, by the way, on a day-to-day basis. I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective. Just a couple of days ago, if I'm not mistaken, Google actually there was a headline that Google is turning down Meta's additional AI data center request, right? There was a headline that said that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so the fact that Meta is considering selling its excess capacity is just another potential rumor that contradicts, by the way, the rumor that Google turned down Meta requesting additional AI capacity. So does Meta need more capacity and is trying to buy some from Google, and Google turned them down? Or do they have excess capacity and they're going to provide it as a data center cloud offering? These things are actually contradictory headlines. Both headlines have come out in the past couple of days. Which one do you go off of? And the reality is, to go off of neither one of them is the way we should be operating. But in the event that Meta has excess capacity, that excess capacity is still going to be extremely valuable. And that was the tweet that I think, Dustin, you were referring to a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and another contradiction to note is Nebius, which is a AI cloud provider. They're a competitor to Iron, which I'm invested in. They're down 17% today because they have a very large deal with Meta to provide capacity for them. So did Meta purchase or sign this contract thinking that they were going to utilize this capacity and now no longer need it and will try to get out of the contract? Or, are we just not seeing the full picture? So I thought that move was also interesting. But like, as an Iron shareholder, I mean, they were down 5% today. But to me, it seems like if these hyperscalers are getting into the AI cloud business, with SpaceX included, maybe Iron is more of a acquisition target for them. I don't know how likely that is, but if they want to build out these data centers, they could just buy them instead of doing all the work. So,
right,
just an interesting angle, and definitely something to keep an eye on.
We'll get a lot more clarity on all of that from Meta's earnings report. Obviously, that's going to happen in what, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. Usually it happens by the 25th of the month. So, I'm going to be a wait and see holder of Meta. And in my opinion, Meta, even in the 600s, is very much undervalued. And if they have excess capacity, data center capacity, and they get into the data center rental business, leasing the data center space to Anthropic or OpenAI or whoever else that might need it, I think that could be a very lucrative business for them, especially if the prices that SpaceX is getting on a per megawatt or per gigawatt of data center capacity is the going rate. Then Meta is in an incredibly good shape because they're going to bring online 4 gigawatts of capacity next year, 1.5 gigawatts this year. So if you just simply say that, if they were to release 4 gigawatts of capacity at similar rates to what SpaceX is doing, that is over $100 billion worth of revenue in a very, very conservative financial measure of that. So they're in a fantastic position from my perspective.